John Panagakis, a new basketball coach at the school who instructed Arnold to be in the gym after class. "Don't make me start looking for you," he said. Arnold helped push the team to a championship tie with San Rafael High. It was Novato's first championship ever. His court prowess, which included record rebound scoring, earned attention from Southern California recruiters. But they were no match for College of Marin's Cal Ripke, who showed up at his home to court his parents. When he left, Arnold's father said, "I think College of Marin is where you're going to be going next year." It was an era when the college attracted many of the county's strongest athletes. Arnold was 17 years old, but he says, "I was about 12 maturity-wise." Now the co-owner of a successful business in San Rafael, he credits College of Marin with giving his life direction. Arnold was recruited along with another gifted player, Jim Hom, mentioned tonight, from Redwood High, and they often were pitted against each other. They thought they were vying for the same post, and the coach didn't tell them otherwise. They were said to be known as the Twin Towers. They worked together and were formidable. Arnold, who was nicknamed Lighthouse because of the aluminum frame glasses he wore that were fashionably right across the bridge of his nose. In retrospect, Arnold remembers Coach Rimpey as a role model who had high expectations of his players and a dignified demeanor. When the team won the league undefeated, they zealously hoisted Rimpey on their shoulders and rushed out to the edge of the pool. He says, "Don't throw me in." So we all put him down and jumped in the pool ourselves. In his sophomore year at Com, Arnold, a record-holding rebounder, managed to draw the attention of well-known recruiter Tex Winter, who was at a game to watch another player, but was so impressed that he recruited him to the Kansas State University on his own. At Kansas State, he won the Big 8 championship title. At that time, he also gained brief but national attention for his musical talents. Arnold and some of Kansas State teams had a post-game tradition of singing together. They were good enough to sing at award ceremonies and sporting events, and Coach Winter invited them to play on his television show. Sports Illustrated picked up the story and described them as the tallest singing group in the world. In the summers, Hom and Arnold returned to Marin County, where they were in high demand to play against each other, but they never ever did. He went on to earn a bachelor's degree in history and worked for Goodyear Tire Company. Then earned a teaching credential from Dominican College and taught at San Clemente Elementary High School for 6 years, while coaching local high schools. He coached the Terra Linda varsity basketball team to its first championship, and coached for Com with John Panagakis and Jim Webster. Looking back, he says he was really fortunate about his experience at College of Marin. Aside from his 2 children, he says his greatest accomplishment is running a successful local business with his brother. He lives with his wife, Marcia Diane Arnold, and serves on the College of Marin Educational Technology Advisory Committee for Automotive Science. Please welcome Fred Arnold.
Well, it's often been said that the favorite sound I've ever heard is my own voice, so buckle down, this will take a while. Thanks very much for coming here, for supporting College of Marin Athletics. It's near and dear to my heart. A special thanks to Dave Granucci and his staff and his team for the fine year they had this year and kind of bringing College of Marin basketball back to where we'd all like to see it. That's terrific. When I was thinking about what I would say tonight, I kind of thought that I'm a lot like Forrest Gump. Now, that's not to say that I'm slow-witted, although I may be. That's kind of out there. But Forrest Gump had this unique talent or opportunity of being in the right place at the right time. And certainly College of Marin, for the 2 years I was there, was the right place at the right time with the right people. So it's been a very, very important part of my life. But I had some help before I got there. John Panagakis, my high school basketball coach. Everybody knows the Greek. He's the patron saint of Special Olympics. And maybe that's why he got along so well with me. Beginning to be more like Forrest Gump every day. Also in that movie, Forrest Gump, if you remember the film at all, he was really fortunate because he got to marry the love of his life. Marcia. So I also had the privilege of playing in high school with Barry Hackmeyer, who's sitting at my table today. It's great to see him. He was my friend then. He's my friend now. He'll be my friend forever. We played 1 year together at College of Marin for Coach Remke. And I'm getting to you, Coach, don't worry. I'm going to mention some names of people that I played with at College of Marin. When I say the right time, the right place, the right people, some of you are going to recognize some of these names. Brad Bush, Jay Johnson, Rod Monty, Bill Brody, Larry Wolf, Lori Galassi, Bill Pandiani. I mean, these were wonderful, wonderful teammates, and we had great success at College of Marin in the 2 years that I was there. But I couldn't go on without mentioning some people's names who you may not be so remember. Arnie Shuck, Bruce Ketron, Paul Gokel. These are guys who came to practice every day and made our life a living hell. Jimmy will tell you, Arnie Shuck never let up 1 second of the time. You would beat him into the ground and he would come back. You know, so those guys are really responsible to a large extent of the success we had there, because that's what College of Marin does. It gives you a chance to be a star. It gives you a chance to participate. Many people who would not be able to play beyond high school have opportunities at College of Marin. And as Jim will tell you when he speaks, and as I will tell you, we were, all nothings when we got out of high school. And both of us owe our college educations to the experience we got at College of Marin. So it wouldn't be complete if I didn't mention my friend Jim.
I come on after you.
Yeah, I know. Talk about a bad draw. So Jimmy and I played against each other in high school for a year, because I only played 1 year of varsity basketball in high school, and we played against each other. But we played on the same team for 2 years at College of Marin, and I think I'm not mistaken, if other than being injured, one of us or the other, we started every game together for 2 years. I promised I wouldn't do this. So. But the deal was, we both started the same, and it took me many years to figure out why that happened. And Coach, was a masterful guy, and it was alluded to that we played against each other every day in practice. And Coach would come around with his clipboard, he'd say, "What's the score?" And it was always Palm 8, Arnold 2, or something like that. I never beat him in 2 years, right? So, and he would write that down, he'd look at me and he'd go, but we did play together, and the reason was because between the two of us, we were the perfect post player. Perhaps not perfect, but damn. Now, I was a pretty good athlete, but I didn't have a very big skill set. You know what I mean? That's polite. Jimmy had a terrific skill set, and I was a pretty good athlete. I was thumbing through my scrapbook today, and I was looking for pictures of Jim and I was trying to find a picture of Jim with both feet off the ground. I couldn't find it. My forte in basketball was rebounding, because it really takes the least amount of talent and the most amount of attitude, right? And so I would board and Jimmy would score. Because of Jim, I led the team my sophomore year in assists. Why? Because I threw the ball to Jim. Because if you didn't throw it to Jim, you were in trouble. So before I go, of course, I've got to say something about Coach Remke. Now, that's Calvin Remke. My son's name is Cal. Yeah, I lost a bet. You know the song about the guy who named his son Sue? I'm only going to say one thing about Coach. I'm only going to say one thing about him. I'm going to say it twice, so you understand my point. He's the best. He's the best.
Yeah.
And in closing, oh, I heard somebody say, thank God. Who did that? That wasn't polite. In closing, I want to reiterate a quote that I heard on the radio the other day, and I think it's really appropriate for this meeting, and I think everybody here can feel this way. It's been said, excuse me, it's been said that the greatest compliment one can receive is to be remembered. I'll never forget this night.
All good.